fair Semiramis wrenched.
When the writer first filled his pen with ash, his heart whispered, "At least he knows the wound is prose." Anonymous.
1. Four-bird tree grows in the garden like a wound. The earthquake was a dimpled plastic fan, wreathed in blue and white. Them boat screechings, you're almost home. I hazed cigarettes, and the window was hallucinogenic over my nasal strips. The dog-like boat, dog skinny waves, the doe light of the wound. Has no platelet on which to land? No. Has filled the writer with his bleeding? No. Became anonymous because it had neither dog's name nor stitch.
Okay, so the rabbit was in the dog's mouth, but the dog had lotus seed head holes instead of a mouth. The dog brought its open eyes to my wife in the garden.
Under the dimpled tree, anonymous, and the dog's lost mouth contracts trypophobia. The rabbit came from the bottom of its ear. Blue is a dwarf planet. Dog knit in the dog's mouth. The dog's mouth of wistful fields, the job was my arrhythmic pulse, my heart beat in ionic feet and spondees, dog's teeth in a tiny rabbit-caged Manhattan. I pinched the stomach of the tree, the garbage bag glass of an erotic elegy.
We made a box for the bunny out of streetlight. We sagged in the stream. We sat beside them not knowing. My heart was a rabbit, and the blackberries were fruitless. The dog mouth blue as the bottom of a travel lodge pool.
I don't remember what they said. The night stream of late autumn. Heaven's compassion deep mouth. Like rain. Like a dimple of strangle marks. Like a plague. Then our son's phonemes were an animal's refuge. Pheromones my son twitching.
In Jarvis, Ontario, they made a wreath from the dog's mouth. They made a fan from the blades. They made wrath from duct tape. And I in an incubator.
That morning, we'd heard a friend's sister had lost her mouth, and we unopened ours.
We watched for the bird, for the rabbit, for the window of the rain, a taxi offering milk.
2. There was a taxi on every molecule, for the milk inked, offered in a fervor not seen since 3 men and a small infinity of cigarette butts made our world gray as their feathered bunnies.
Its tiny paws, deep green lightning.
Green, Father Green of green-eyed garden, the heart-wormed pigeon queen, the curled lips, a truck when all roads are genital.
Oh, how it pains us. Exit ramps pushing me down the stairs, home like a megaphone when I had to get into the dog's mouth.
3. Now we go classical. This quotidian that Pericles counseled, the ribald cloven hoof of thought.
For the window is without possibility or eyes, its doggerel tone, its use of zygma, resembling fair Semiramis who stained her brocade with the spinal fluid of a lark. She, 10 days old, requested the spindle of the throne, and Pericles and his milk expired.
Death isn't going home. It is in the bar, munching unceremoniously on the deep-fried gentry, oystered with leers.
3.5. Now prose for the body is always some of the eggshells, partially formed birds, a guy driving a caterpillar who had pasted a bunch of pictures of grubs all over the interior. I didn't want to, but Steve had implement in his dead toads on the roadside sack older than globes. Steve was my brother, and Steve tied a cable tie around Max's tail. We went on vacation for a week, and the grates were globs. Max's tail stood rigid. Steve told me to wait 5 seconds. It was a car, and it had the pinions of Ixion's wheel. It was lopsided and gurgled with puffy Grecian illusions. My brain swerved and honked. Steve had built a bivouac of gravy spots, a grappling hook white spot. Wouldn't have believed me if I'd groped cardboard, dartboard-smelling darkness. The egg-warm hot chocolate did not hurt the bird. The bird was a pushcart of stentorian fathers bulging in their cottage as cheese-colored bellies. The creases of my hands weren't aware that they could still feel the palimpsest of every fucking day. I was a mossless baby, and Steve was grinning like a slit throat. He had an oily texture that bore earthwards, told me to get under an orange jug of gas under it. Took off the cap and handed me the plastic fan and a dilapidated god. I filled with fumes, the plastic in the skin of my back, as if my spine were a lit match.
4. The tire didn't drag me across the room. The kids tattered, ocean's grimace.
A bird diving into the ocean imagines time, clouds in the twin foxhole of wings.
The mulling and clap of shivered drops, the misery braids of elbow matter. I didn't understand what the rubbing meant, but I had the bed, and the look it had given, and the murky roof of the room, the surgery smell, and the spray of eyes assembled from basement apartments, the superglue proddings of the bird arsonist, her light switch flesh handle. When the body started to shake, it had its own building permits and the smack of nails, basking in the mounds of tissue paper, the window sill and the antlers hog breath. Redressings are redress shivering wet dog sniveling skin cells. The mouse hole is the corporeal. The mirror is the binge of an eclipse. The only way to the floorboards is the bat and the moon and the extraterrestrials. We acknowledged the revolting spume, a panoply of treadmills and Costco gift cards. As the dishwasher dragged away from my blankie, I woke up halfway to the closet door.
Words break our mouths. Hey, there's a bear in back, growling like bones. No, it's another illusion. Machiavelli and his cheese grater.
Why? Must I be simple as the foodstuffs? I exemplify the trimmings.
The mustard is on sale. Now the illusion ends. And what remains of the isotopes of a child covered in leaves?
We climbed at Geiger. I couldn't climb back. The ladder, it's Sliver my dad.
Frozen in blood, they smile, better than Seinfeld. I'm doing it all wrong. Cut up the vein, not a cross. So stupid, he thinks.
Fingers sail out to the ends of we can't, but hold to the flock of leaves, the flutter of birds. 25 years ago, my mother died. Write this down, she said. Blankets pulled to her chin.
The tides indoctrinate, even when the water butterflies up, elbows and brainstems, and I'm pulled through a vaudeville act, husband and wife and extramarital scorpion, a cow brought on with lips of little milk, a wren like autumn foam, a rope of birds, a cobra birthed by knives.
5. Their truck was slathered by the syringe of baby widows, or cigarettes grief in a semi-automatic.
Little dogs glee at your sorrow.
I'd be frank if it were not for the certified DO'd interpreter, soft-bodied with dark purple mandibles, starry archipelagos sleep near a hatchet.
I am obsessed with a jeweled trowel of lifeboat of pencils in a milk-wet sky.
Dio docketed. The box is a piece of construction paper, and there are bits of crushed up seashell glued to it.
Deodocadent, there's pressed flowers and a crackle like tea-stained paper, trying to make the edges look like treasure maps, the X's of nothing.
Deodocadent. The sun, like it had never existed, had been assembled in the Port Authority Salvation Army. You leave your ID beaten, and were due the cost of your father's tombstone.
Deodocadent. He'd gotten out of prison 25 years for beating his wife to death. His smile was racked with a gunless mouth. Under the opioid lemon blade, the 18-year-old punk woman is a dictionary. The migration of...
A chemical equation is a crusty Hubble confidence, like bad futurist poetry. I set up a tent just beyond the falls, mouse being hunted by owl fear. So I smoked and drank, watched the glowworms, little humming refrigerators.
Chemical reactions have their own weather patterns. A prosthetic atom is elementary as an orcapod, but nothing is forever fist-like in the stadium of ecclesiastical robe.
The reactants are done, plugged in. The pigs ain't been watered. Used to go out the barn. I've always had a gourd, and that gourd is my gourd. While the background anonymously barks, don't stop believing. The ballpoint pen muffin was a less endangered animal.
Lorem synopsis, carbon dioxide, water, non-life, plate, intestinal, anxiety, first, Twilight, gaslighting.
In order to have children, the names and ages need to be replaced with lamb and regret.
Unfolded in words, where a dictionary is the blue migration to Sacramento, and my blabber of childhood invincibility adapted my enjoined ligaments, troglodytic chase. But after this, I was vice-regent of blue, chiding the blur of truncal face, murky blue smears across the leaf-colored beads.
The fish tickled each other with their flustered blue presentations. Dopamine grifters, ephemeral as last summer's blue bed of ash. Dolorous crimson of morning, that blush of crimp, those blue-blown tired soliloquies of the flock. March 31st, 2020. Their rigid blue tear ducts are Disney Plus. My scabrous corpuscle chirped perpetual orisons.
The angler in the blue matter between the blue stars had a wool sweater in the polemics of the bush of the blue fold, the haphazard spoon of an old blue Seattle and a red Interstate 5. Words, or made of words, or used words, or had words embedded in their blue jaws on the empty land. Oh, fibrous, fin-proud fish of purring neurons.
Next, we remember the lumpy streets of grammar beyond the dude who slapped the rim of a stigmata hat. The still blue nimbus of that gaseous tube is their trigger condom eyes. Matter straits as much as time. Look, you could try to fit the U.S. inside of your left hand, but still most of it would be housed in a megachurch.
Let us pray. The president doesn't have COVID-19. I had rectified my penumbral status, O Nimbus anathemas. You coo the awe-stricken optics of these challenged suns. Creep past my mother and along the salmon-gutted stream. Their crated-up chimneys, their smug little platitudes.
When school ended, I ran home and swaddled the lozenges of my sweat. The spear's so holy. Look, my body, too, like a spear, contains all others. I am a girdle for a tangle of snotty Kleenex.
Cracks and cracks in the sidewalk. The cracked old pervert with his cracked skin who came into his metal-fingered hands. Oh, blue moonless antibody, a miniature mall, the crack in breadsticks, the fissured pinata of women's garments.
It's true. Some of them joined with Kurt Coons, Train Track, James Taylor. Carole King coked out feel-good smoothness like a large parking lot. Their affectation, a coat of many corn dogs, made homey white and veiny as an afternoon at J.C. Penney.
Oh, my people, here our preparation is made of tiger woods and the satyrs of the couch. Frowsy, testosterone-soaked golf course is a fawn-colored sweater.
Are there 10 things you can do to stop?
Here's the first. He did concede to the handsome requests of the advertisement substratum.
The second, had he decimetered the spill rate of a mud flap, his iWatch may have maintained its box full of tackle and a dead body ribboned by worms.
The third must know the heart rate of his scotch-taped smile.
For the fourth, I'd not entertained the firecrackers of my bread maker's heart.
The fifth is a shimmy of Kenny G night terrors.
Oh, sixth. Hold me, sixth. Does that sound pathetic?
Rings. I will let the face where mouse, yes, the full needle, the fungus, the smears to the lead from the sweeps it like bits of it unrolls spinal columns, pig, the body by the coos on the vapor, mud blood speaks like beneath water. Listen, speaks like.
The seventh is a tin can to shut on narwhals. Dad went off. Velvet Line is a fake university. Oh, shrimp sitting on an orangey blood cocktail spud plate.
Number 8 is thorn-brimmed sneers. They're ski-masked snuff films injected with the sea foam of tentacled fools.
The ninth asks, is this the lizard belly smell of Betamax? Ugh.
Finally, he is heavier than trauma and alphagetti. Now, the planet boils.
I boil. The screen door like a skin hole.
A dictionary is a knife blade.
A spontaneous mass of flowers, equally stupid and shaped like a hook.
Six, Motl hyposonic.
1.62 billion daily active tongues.
One of the most important metrics for having a tornado's DNA is to invest in the eyelight of retroactive teeth. An active tongue means ditches get data breaches.
Up 9% in the years over the last declining nectar bowl. importantly, this growth rate is in line with no one's tongue. A pack of horses panicking in a field of honey. 1 Samuel 14:24-21:9. I wanted to be the intersection to demonstrate a knack for attracting bees and bolstering attracting bees.
Olaine, marry him, refuses he too already. Olaine, why marry you? Demrith, not a god. He not get a party flower. Grief. Na Baletsi, due to frings to big part, McDonald's and B-ball. Cam. Postal serviette, bruh. The Dems dark state too. Oh, the Dems? Con Pirapi P, it is Baletsi. No, I not vote Dems. No, not Baletsi. The Chechens, ugh. Dems, no flake. They Wigan are pollsters. The refuses of Cossacks, nah. Osko. And the Trump, he, batter E and must be correct. Parry, Dems got a polls, not them. I got the computer and go to Big Mac. Big Mackey tenders. We like American moves. Merkin as the Osco is not who thought accepts, but party. Grief spends Baletsi who?
Stay attached ways or seriously injured when of who he illed. The villagers only in approach to him. He have normal became with man first time. Grief. Russian bullets is attached.
2.8 billion monthly family tongue users. I wish the tech company was not feted by the fourth midnight of 2018.
Write it down, baby. The baby, 1852. The baby, 1854. Little, 1856. Family happiness, 1859. Cats, peace, crucifixion, resurrection, 1899. Coupon, star! Hadji Murad, 1912, the story short. How much land do you go on? I got fruits and vegetables, agriculture, business, and damage.
Happiness. Write it down a little. Write cats down, babe. Removing a stamp. Where's the love god? Rat. Adultery, death, and death. That's true. How much land do you want? Fruits and vegetables, 1849. Rat. Infant wisdom. What did I do? What's an image? That's true. What's an image? That's true. What did I do? The last body. The rectangular planet of the instrument. That's true. There are two. It's a family. That's true. The dark side, the light, shines in the dark.
The baby writes down cats, babe. Little family happiness, 1859. Cats in the shortest story. The confirmation of the devil. How much land do you want? The last body. It's a family. The rectangular planet of the instrument. There are two.
That's true. What did I do? That's true. What did I do? That's true. What did I do? That's true. How much land do you want? Fruits and vegetables, 1886. Rat, 1897. That's true. 1882. That's true. 1882. What did I do? 1886. That's true. 1882. The last body, 1990.
The complete Bible, 1883. 3. Average revenue per regret, $7.26.
I thought it was nice that she ran through the halls, so bright that the walls increase.
I could see her down by the rectangular planet. When I looked up at the ceiling, the sky didn't look like 1 millimeter. Jump to search. Download! Download! Download!
Na Ugorje, Croatian Mudgorje, has been the grass or the West Edmonton Mall. I used to sneak off at Sunday school and steal the little metal sports cars. I would often pretend to sing in the church choir, but would just move my mouth in the grave of our cattle prods.
4. Total fingers on the platform increased by 1 million.
A koala can be used for candlelight.